Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Bobby. Happy Labor Day. I'm thrilled to be part of your 3-day weekend, and I hope it's been great for you. Today, I want to talk about posture. Now, posture is one of the 4 big pre-swing fundamentals, along with grip, which we've already done a video on, as well as we've done one on the other ones, the alignment and ball position. So posture's been left out, and I want to take care of that today. When it comes to establishing a good posture, you're just trying to get yourself in a position that you can maintain throughout. And you want to be able to turn in a centered manner and return. And because you stay centered, yeah, you turn away from the ball, but it's there waiting for you when you get back because you remained fixed. And a good posture is essential for that to happen. And so the first fundamental of good posture is to feel like you've got a straight spine. Now, if you'll take your golf club and put it on the back of your head, and put it on your tail and lean over, you know you've got a pretty straight spine at that point. That's important. It's not natural. This might be natural. But you've got to sort of think that posture is something you've got to adhere to in the golf swing, just like you've got to sort of make an extra effort when you're in a crowd, right? What's the first thing you do when you take your shirt off at the beach? You've got to spread your chest a little bit. That's the way we stand. If you can think along those lines as we set up to a golf ball, you won't be far off the mark. That will do a whole lot to get at least the top part of your spine straight, and that's where so many people lose it. They're not bad down here, but they've got a hunch in their back. Spread the chest. Bring your scapula together, your shoulder blades together in the back, and then you shouldn't be too far off. Next to that is we want to make sure that our hands hang directly below our shoulder sockets, as gravity will have them. So if I hold them out here on this oblique angle, well, I can't relax because relaxed would be straight down from my shoulder sockets. That's the only way I can relax. So there's 2 planes here. There's the arm plane and then there's a club plane, and they shouldn't be on the same plane. All right, so checkpoint number 1, a straight spine. Checkpoint number 2, let your hands hang directly below your shoulder sockets. And checkpoint number 3, make sure your knees are only bent enough so that you can say they're not locked. In other words, this is no good. But you've got to have just enough bend in there so that your knees are comfortably over your shoelaces, no farther than your toes. Now, those are the checkpoints. We want to make sure that our hands are hanging below our shoulder sockets, that we're tilting from the hips, not from the waist, but from the hip sockets, and our back is straight. Now becomes the important part about maintaining that posture, because it is of little moment to get a good posture if we can't maintain it. And if you're one of these people who stand up, there's a good chance you're guilty of this one little subtle yet very important feature of the golf posture, and that is your hips have to be, your hips right there in the middle of the hip joint must be over your heels. That is the position that we human beings find balance in. And we can maintain that as long as that's over that. If you don't start that way, somewhere during your swing, you're going to get there because that's the way your body finds balance. So let's just say that you're one of these people who gets your hips back here behind your heels. Well, now during the swing, your body senses it's off balance and it's going to go find it. It's going to bring your hips forward until it's back over the heels. And so one way or the other, you're going to end up here with your hips over your heels. It's better that you start there so that you can simply maintain it and be in your posture throughout. And that's very, very important for a good posture. Now, if you have a hard time, just as a little side note here, if you have a hard time, I can't get my hips over my heels, then I'm standing up. Well, mess with your ankle flexion a little bit. In other words, if this part of my leg is perfectly vertical, the lower leg, that puts my hips way behind my heels. If I just flex from the ankles a little bit, now my hips move forward with it, and suddenly I'm in a good spot. And so ankle flexion is something you can diddle with a little bit in order to try to get your hips directly over your heels. And so that's the big deal today. What are we doing? We're trying to get in a good posture, which is a straight spine, hands hanging directly below the shoulder sockets, tilting from the hips, and only a little bit of knee flex. And as in an attempt to maintain that posture, make sure that at address, your hips are directly over your heels. And I'm sure that's going to help you. Again, happy Labor Day. I look forward to seeing you next time.